Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Muhammad Yusuf and this is TVS News at 5. Let us begin with our top story. 80% of the population from 2 villages in Seberang Hile Petrajaya will be moved to the DARULHANA settlement starting August, while the remainder 20% are currently being addressed, according to the Deputy Minister of Utility and Communication, DATUK Dr. RAHMAN JUNAIDI.
As I mentioned last week, the land inquiry exercise has been done for 3 weeks in April. In April, it's been done successfully. About 80% of the applicant from 2 kampong has been successfully balloted and has agreed on their respective housing that they've been balloted, and the official movement of the first group of villagers from the 2 kampong will start on the 1st of August 2022.
Meanwhile, Rahman also stated that the Land Custody Development Authority (LCDA) and related agencies will be looking into the issues faced by the remainder 20% villagers who are still unable to move to the new settlement.
The TVS, because due to the land issues, some because of the conflict, overlapping of ownership within among the siblings of a family, and other issues, issues with the bank and so forth. Land and Survey with Housing Development Corporation as well as CDA are working on it.
Rahman spoke during his visit at Sarawak Botanical Garden on Wednesday.
Now, police are still investigating the motive behind the viral bully case in Bandar Baru, Semarang. The 24-year-old suspect was picked up by a team of police just 6 hours after a police report was lodged. The case is being investigated under Section 324 of weapons or means to any explosive substance.
In the 56-second clip, which made rounds on social media on Tuesday, the suspect was seen bullying an individual with special needs at a stairwell area of a commercial centre. Kuching District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner of Police Ashman Bajah said the suspect, an employer for a local courier company, was arrested after a police report was lodged against him at 5:36 p.m. on Tuesday.
Tim kita telah ditubuhkan sejurus selepas menerima maklumat daripada rakan-rakan netizen yang ada video tu, dan kita telah berjaya menangkap kurang 6 jam kita tangkap suspek ini. Ditangkap oleh tim daripada Balai Pulisan Tubung bersama-sama dengan bantuan daripada jenayah. Kita tangkap dan merampas, ada di depan ni semua sekali.
Another individual, the suspect's co-workers who recorded the incident, will also be called in by the police for his statement to be recorded. Ashman noted that the suspect is clear of previous crime records and that his drug test came back negative.
Cultivating the culture of good hygiene and civic awareness is vital, as it reflects the value of a gastronomic city that Kuching is known for. Hence, public facilities cleanliness, including toilets, as it is one facility that will be used by all segments of society, including tourists from abroad. The city's image will be tarnished by poor public toilet cleanliness, which also reflects the civilization of the society.
Cleanliness is closely related to health, comfort, beauty, and the pride of the people of a city. And a dirty city reflects the state of mind and the attitude of its people towards hygiene and cleanliness.
We reminded owners of food premises to especially prioritize the cleanliness of their toilets for the confidence of consumers. Meanwhile, he expressed that the development of public facilities and toilets in Kuching has always been a priority for his party. However, vandalism and failure to maintain the cleanliness of public toilets impose very high cost. Additionally, there is a total of 58 food premises recognized as 3 stars and above under the Star Toilet System project.
Right, Malaysia Airlines MAS has issued its official statement in regards to the discomfort its passengers have experienced in 3 instances that took place on May 3rd, May 8th and May 9th. Passengers who were on board these flights had to bear unbearable heat in the cabin due to power failure, resulting in an inoperative auxiliary power unit APU system.
According to MAS, the APU system is a component fitted on an aircraft that supplies electrical power and pressurized air for the air conditioning system and engine while the aircraft is still on the ground. If the system detects any abnormalities on the ground before the flight takes off, the aircraft cannot be powered up, which resulted to a warm cabin. In the event of future power failures, MAS will move passengers to the boarding hall within 10 minutes after any technical issue has been identified, while their ground team rectifies the problem. This procedure will take immediate effect. If the problem persists for a longer period, the airline will advise the next course of action. Throughout the Hari Raya celebrations, more than 1,800 flights were flown, utilizing 40 aircrafts to accommodate high volume of passengers traveling domestically.
Kalau gudi, kita bermain dari kecil. Gudi adalah permainan turun-temurun lah. Mun di Serikih kita panggil gudi sao.
Misteri adalah sesuatu yang tidak dapat dijelaskan maupun diungkai.
Thank you for staying with us. Now, the Building Material Cost Index BCI without steel bars and with steel bars has increased for all building categories in Malaysia for the month of April. In a report released today, the Department of Statistics Malaysia DOSM said the BCI increased between 0.8 and 3.6% in Sarawak, 0.6 to 3.4% in Peninsular Malaysia, and 0.1 to 2.4% in Sabah.
Chief Statistician Dr. Muhammad Uzair Mahidin said the BCI without steel bars in Sabah and Sarawak increased between 0.3 and 3.6% for almost all categories of building. Building categories with the highest increase in Sarawak and Sabah were timber building in Kuching and single-story steel frames in Kota Kinabalu. Meanwhile, the BCI with steel bars for all regions in Malaysia increased between 0.1 and 3.6% for almost all building categories. Muhammad Uzair said the unit price index for steel, which consists of mild steel round bars and Micron 60 high tensile deformed bars, increased 2.3% compared to 1.4% in the previous month. He noted that the steep increase in steel was recorded in Sarawak with 3.8%, followed by Kelantan, Terengganu and Pahang with 2.4%. Other building materials such as cement, steel, aggregates, sand, bricks and wall, roofing materials and ceiling materials also experienced an increase in April. The World Steel Association report stated that in March 2022, the world crude steel production for 64 countries was 161.0 million tons, a 5.8% decrease compared to March 2021. Global crude steel production was 456.6 million tons in the first 3 months of 2022, a decline of 6.8% compared to the same period in 2021. Meanwhile, according to a World Bank report, most commodity prices are expected to increase this year and remain high in the medium term. Commodity prices rose sharply following the start of the war in Ukraine, and the increase in energy prices drive up the cost of extracting and refining metal ores, especially aluminium, iron and steel.
Similarly, natural rubber production have decreased marginally by 2.7% to 28,030 tons in March 2022 compared with February's numbers. According to the Department of Statistics Malaysia's March 2022 report, the department said on a year-on-year comparison, natural rubber production also slid by 22.3% compared to 36,068 tons in March 2021.
Natural rubber production was mainly contributed by the smallholders sectors 88.3% compared to the estates sector 11.7%. He added that the export performance was contributed by natural rubber-based products such as gloves, tires, tubes, rubber threads and condoms. China remains the main destination for natural rubber exports, accounting for 50.6% of total exports in March 2022, followed by Finland with 5.9%, Iran 4.1%, Germany 3.4% and Turkey with 3.2%. Meanwhile, gloves were the main exports of rubber-based products with a value of 2.1 billion ringgit in March 2022, an increase of 9.1% compared to 2 billion ringgit in February 2022. Association of Natural Rubber Producing Countries, the world natural rubber production in 2022 is expected to grow at a slower rate of 1.9%, while consumption will be at 1.2% due to the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war and labor shortages.
The World Health Organization (WHO) on Tuesday called out China's zero COVID-19 strategy in managing the pandemic as unsustainable. China has imposed some of the world's strict measures, locking most of Shanghai's 25 million population at home for weeks as the country combats its worst outbreak since the pandemic began.
When we talk about the zero COVID strategy, we don't think that it's sustainable considering the behavior of the virus now and what we anticipate in the future. And especially when we have now a good knowledge, understanding of the virus, and when we have good tools to use, transiting into another strategy will be very important.
China has registered 15,000 deaths since the virus first emerged in late 2019, a relatively low number compared with other countries worldwide. Still, its zero COVID-19 policy has drawn criticism from its own anguish and angry citizens. Under zero COVID-19, authorities locked down large population areas to stamp out virus spread in response to any coronavirus outbreak, even if just a small number of people test positive. However, it also underscores how difficult it is to stop the spread of the highly transmissible Omicron variant.
And that's all the time we have for TVS News at 5. My name is Muhammad Yusuf. Once again, Selamat Hari Raya, Maaf Zahir dan Batin.